Welcome to another episode of Bro Date. My name is Keith, this is Jarrell, and we are going to be talking about the most recent episode of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
When we left off last time, the last episode we talked about on the show, Glenn was in a hairy situation.
Yeah, yes he was, for sure. A lot of speculation left.
Yeah.
To whether he was even alive or not.
Yeah. We get our answer in like the first 30 seconds of this episode, and I'm proud to say we were right.
Yes.
Our theory was dead on.
All of our time of research has paid off.
Yeah, our
taking measurements of dumpsters and
frame by frame examinations.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
He survived.
Yeah, we got really technical with the way the bodies fell, and I think we were pretty right on with that too.
Yes, yeah, it was pretty awesome. So so they show as you see, the shot is actually kind of a nice shot. You see him crawling under, and you see him like almost like the whole way until he's completely underneath there. And then once he gets himself kind of secured underneath this dumpster,
he's got zombies grabbing at him.
Yeah, he starts going at him and
clearing
killing
him out.
them. You know?
He kind of forms a barrier right around that opening in the dumpster, so no other zombies are going to see him under there.
Gets him
and then
he barcade or whatnot.
Yeah, and then he waits it out until the next day, all night. He crawls out once they kind of disperse and there's no more around. And I have to say, I'm happy Glenn's alive.
I am very happy. I found out that I am emotionally attached to a television show. But yes, I was very happy to see that he was alive. And kind of the way that the show starts off, it's completely blacked out, and all you hear is the sound. You don't see anything; it's blacked out. And then eventually, so you hear the thank you. You hear the one guy shoot himself.
Yeah. And
then that's when the visual pops up, and you see Glenn falling and whatnot. So I think they shot it very. It was just well shot. Well shot and well played in reference to playing the sound first, and then the visual. So I really enjoyed that.
The other great thing is that they show us the same sequence basically, but then they show us the shot we all wanted to see, which is how their bodies were situated. And you literally see Nicholas getting eaten,
right?
And Glenn's like, oh shit,
like,
I gotta get out of here.
They're not eating me.
Yeah.
Let me crawl under this perfectly heighted dumpster. So yes, that was awesome. So to go back to what you were talking about, so he, a night passed, and he survives off of water, and starts crawling out, and someone else throws him some water.
Yeah, Enid, our buddy Enid.
Unsuspected. I would have never thought.
Enid, who I thought was a wolf.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably not at this point.
I mean, who
knows?
But
hey, she could be a lot of things. Yeah. I think she's just a loner.
So, so yeah, she throws him this water and kind of just runs away.
Yeah.
You know?
She's like, hey, heads up. Oh, crap, I threw it in a puddle.
Right.
I told you, heads up, bro. Like, why didn't you catch it? And then she runs away.
And pretty much Glenn is chasing her.
Well, yeah. No, not even pretty. He's chasing her.
Chasing her.
Yeah, for a while.
Her down, tracking her down.
Yes.
So that was also interesting, too.
But they've seemingly never had any sort of interaction before this.
Yeah.
Like, this is their first interaction, even though they lived in the same community. But they're definitely building some sort of like bigger relationship on their trek back to Alexandria.
Right. That's the way it seems.
Yeah, and Glenn is like not giving her a choice. He's like, listen, no, I'm not leaving you out here. I'm not an ass. Like, no, you're coming. And she's like, well, crap, fine.
Right.
She pulls a gun on him.
Yes.
Which she didn't use. And she calls him an asshole, and he's like, I'm the asshole you just pulled a gun on.
Right, literally.
Which I loved.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was nice.
And I think it starts from there on. Like, he's like, I'm not giving you a choice with this. You're coming with me. We're going back. he finds out like who she's been living with, and I think you can see it start to set up for something that happens in the comics, which Sophia dies in what, like season 2?
Season 2.
Sophia in the comics is alive, and Carol dies in the comics. So Maggie and Glenn take care of Sophia after that. Sophia's not in this, so it looks like Enid's going to take that role over for them. So like Enid might be kind of brought into their family that's starting up with Maggie being pregnant now too. So
that's a good observation, because I completely forgot about Sophia.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing that they could be setting up here.
Yeah, no, it really is.
I mean, and I think the other thing, they bonded over sort of the same thing, which they say the apocalypse has like orphaned them. Mm-hmm. And Glenn's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it orphaned me too, you know? So there's a common connection there.
Right.
And I think he's starting to like feel for her, and he even says towards the end of the episode, like, it's not for Maggie anymore. Like, this is for me. You're coming with me. So
right. He does.
There's a good little evolution of, you know, this relationship on their way back.
Right. Yeah, that's a good observation, because I completely forgot about Sophia. So I think you're on the right path here with the relationship that Glenn and Enid are building to kind of take place of Sophia's.
So as they're on their way back, there's a bunch of other stuff that is starting to go down too.
Yes, there is.
Where do we start? Morgan
it is. So Rick kind of takes Morgan and, as you say, sit him in the principal's office.
Yeah, that's what happens. He's going to detention.
With
Michonne,
and there's someone else in the room, I thought. Is it just those two? Is it Carol?
Yeah.
And Carol.
It is Carol.
And they're pretty much discussing what's going on. And Rick just flat out says, look, Morgan, Carol told me that you let some wolves go. Those wolves happened to meet me in the barn, and I went Scarface on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this whole, what's going on? What are you afraid to kill people, or what? Why'd you let them go? Mm-hmm. And pretty much, Morgan opens up with his whole all life is precious.
Yeah,
and almost admits he doesn't know what the right answer is for what type of person to be, whether it's still to carry on with morals or to let that stuff pass and just live in this, in a sense, anarchy.
He's a really interesting character because he's been on both sides of the extreme. Mm-hmm. He's been insane, killing people or trying to kill people that he has known, not recognizing them when him and Rick meet, to where he's at now, where he's a badass. He's Donatello.
Yeah, yes, he is.
And he won't kill anybody.
Yeah.
All life is precious to him from his episode with Eastman.
Yes.
Which is a reference to Ninja Turtles. But it's such an extreme from where he was. I'm not sure if he knows how to be in the middle ground anywhere. He might be one of those, it's one thing or the other, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think he's afraid to get back to where he was, so he's afraid to do anything but what he's doing right now. Afraid to live by that.
I think he knows that this helped him come out of a dark path.
Well, yeah.
And it also is just holding on to that humanity. Mm-hmm. And it kind of seems like, for a good majority of the show, there's always that at least one person that does that. Before, I feel like it was Tyrese. Who was trying to hang on to that humanity, and now maybe Morgan is starting to fill that role.
I think one of the interesting things about the show in general is that you have all these characters that play with that in a different way. Like, they have their different versions for themselves on how to deal with what's going on around them. Rick is Rick. He's extreme, and he didn't start like that.
No.
We had Shane at the beginning. Rick's gotten into Shane territory. Like, Shane was right. He's going to have to kill, like, people he doesn't want to at sometimes. We have Michonne, who has been, like, really secluded and to herself a lot of the times. I think probably the easy thing to do is to put on the tough exterior and just make the hard decision quickly. That's what Carol does, too. Mm-hmm. But they all come out of, like, different parts of them, like, different experiences they had. Like, Carol was beaten by her husband and lost her daughter, so this is the easiest thing for her. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the easiest way for her to deal with it. Morgan's been through, it seems like, every different version of the characters that we have.
He's been through a lot.
And I think he's still trying to find his place, but
I think he's
probably close to where he needs to be, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a lot closer now than he was in Clear.
Yeah. The only problem, though, is that it's sort of a liability to the people around him, as
Correct.
We see with Rick, you know?
So speaking of liability, Carol plays Ninja and follows him and finds out that he has a prisoner. And that's where the episode ends. And Carol's like, who are you hiding in there? And then they let it go.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see how that works, but now at this point, which we're going to get to in a second, the Alexandra's in a situation that Carol's probably last thing that she's worried about is this prisoner.
Yeah.
But then again, I could completely see Carol walking in there, ending the prisoner, and then going on to what she needs to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you assume is going to happen anyway.
So
as soon as she's like, hey, take the baby for a minute, I got to go on the tower, or whatever excuse she makes up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, it's going to go down.
Here it comes. So also, moving on with the episode, Ron decides and talks and convinces Rick that he wants to learn. He wants him to teach him how to shoot a gun.
It's such a bad idea, you know?
It is.
Like,
because
he hates the entire Grimes family.
Yes.
Except for maybe Judith.
And you can tell that he's up to something.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you see he's up to something as soon as he's like, hey, teach me how to shoot.
Right.
But then you see him throughout the episode do some other stuff. You see him, like, throw shade at Carl. You see him steal some bullets. And then towards the end, right when all the bad stuff starts happening, you see Ron walking towards Carl from behind and taking a gun out, like, from behind his back. So, what do you think is going to happen there?
He's definitely going to express his anger towards Carl. Mm-hmm. Or some others may know him as Coral.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to try to take out some frustrations. I won't say what.
Hey, Carl, don't mess with my Kool-Aid.
But, it may leave you to question if Carl's alive or not. Just saying.
Yeah. So, the other thing I think might happen there is we see at the end of the episode Rick's working on the wall, trying to make it a little more sturdy, and the tower right next to the wall starts to crumble. We see throughout the episode little parts of it are breaking off, it's creaking, and with the last couple minutes, of course, it crashes down and zombies come through.
Walkers
this is all
come pouring in. All
happening, we assume, right at the moment Ron's walking towards Carl and pulling this gun out. So some frantic stuff is going to happen right there.
Oh, yeah, frantic stuff is already happening. I think
whatever plan Ron has going on in his head, that might throw him for a loop.
It just might.
Now, what that means, I don't know. But Ron's never killed anything. He barely knows how to shoot a gun.
Right. He still hasn't shot one.
So, if Carl realizes Ron's trying to kill him, Carl's going to go Carl.
Carl will...
That's what I'm excited to see, is if something happens and Carl realizes what his plan was, what Carl's going to do. Because we haven't seen Crazy Carl in a while.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it runs in the family. It's going to come back.
How poetic would this be? What if, okay, that same scenario, Carl's walking, Ron's trailing him, Ron starts to pull out that gun, and Rick sees him.
Yeah, well.
I'm just saying, food for thought. Food for thought. But, so now Alexandria's kind of in mayhem. Well, not kind of in mayhem. No. They are in mayhem. Walkers are coming at them.
It's not
they
good.
are not as protected as they once were in Alexandria. And they're about to get hit pretty hard. I think with this next episode, there will be lots of death.
Yeah, definitely.
As Morgan once said, red everywhere. There will be lots of death. I don't think there will be any main characters from Rick's group. You know, I think there will be Alexandrians that will die like crazy.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't think there will be any main group from the ones prior to Alexandria that will die. But I do think there's going to be a lot of death. I had a friend from work, Chuck. Chuck, I'm giving you the shout out. That predicted. Okay, so we've got a group of some folks from Rick's group that are not within.
Yeah.
The Alexandria.
Yeah, they're kind of
mayhem.
split in half right now.
Right. You got Daryl, you got Sasha, and you got Abraham riding in this gasoline truck, and he predicted that Rick is the person asking for help on the speaker, on the walkie-talkie, and that Daryl's gonna come driving in with this gas tank, and he's gonna use the trick that he got from Dwight, that he got from Dwight using Patty, to burn the zombies and attract the zombies to the fire.
Straight into it,
which I didn't think about, I thought was a creative thought. And I could completely see them doing that because, first, The Walking Dead loves to do this whole, well, let's show them something that we're going to use later on in our seasons or episodes or whatnot. So I definitely can see that, them coming to life, come and save the day. But
they're going to have to.
Also, we may be introduced to a new character by.
I think it's probably the perfect time to bring him in. Now, how that'll happen, I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll happen towards the end of the episode.
Yeah. It could be similar to the introduction from Michonne.
Yeah, I think out of all characters to do it with, too, he's pretty much a parallel, sort of a badass, like, combat.
Yeah. Like not only that, but a comic favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
We haven't seen him yet, so this would be a nice introduction. It'd be a little bit of a different scenario because I don't think this is where he comes in the comics, but this would be a nice. I mean, I could see this happening.
Makes sense.
And then kind of opening up next season for
the big bad, basically.
The new things that come.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that the next big villain from the books is coming. He got cast.
He is coming.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which I think is an awesome fit, by the way.
They do they do a good job. They do a really good job.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with him as far as language and stuff goes. I think they can probably get the attitude down, but he swears so much in the comics. I'm not sure how they're going to steer around that. I'm sure they'll get creative with
swearing is the least of my concerns of what he's going to be doing to people.
I'm just saying. But I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan can pull it off.
I think
because he was in Watchmen. He was sort of the same personality-ish.
We will see.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that happened in this episode. A lot that sets up further things. People are definitely going to die.
Yes.
I actually think that there might be one main character that's in trouble. Because you talked about your foreshadowing there.
True.
We had a scene in this episode where Rosita is training people with machetes, and she gives this speech to Eugene about watching his friends die, and it being even worse than, you know, not being able to kill. She might die in front of Eugene.
Rosetta?
I think that could happen.
It could. Yeah, that's a good observation. I would not be surprised if it's another one of his friends, which also, I think around the same time, brings in the new character.
Who?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Brings in the new...
Yes. The new character that we think has an opportunity of showing up in this episode.
I'm lost.
I'll give you a clue. He has really long hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, I think in the comic books, he shows up right around the same time that Eugene's other friend, Abraham, everybody knows what I'm talking about, Abraham, dies. Abraham does die in the comic books. Yes, sorry if you did not know that. So
everybody dies in the comic books.
This could be an opportunity. I'm just saying, with your theory, which makes sense.
Could be.
We shall see.
I definitely think that her little speech there could resonate somehow with an event that happens in this next episode. Because all those people that were getting trained are gonna have to fight zombies now.
Yeah.
Like, there's walkers coming in. They don't have a choice. It's put up or shut up time. So we're going to see what happens with that.
Right.
So those words might be very weighty.
Might be. So hopefully this Sunday we get 90 minutes.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. AMC, make it happen.
Please. Be very appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then we got to wait horribly for like a couple months.
Hopefully they
I'm sure we'll have some big things to discuss in that time off.
Hopefully they'll throw in the start of second season of The Fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, but it would be yes. We'll see. We will see.
Got anything else?
Nothing else. Just comments. Let us know what you think. Like us. Repost us.
Mm-hmm.
Retweet us.
Yeah. Twitter,
whatever.
Facebook, YouTube.
Let us know what you thought. Let us know what... Do you agree with Chuck? Maybe he's right about it. I don't know. But I thought it was a good thought. Maybe we're well off on when a certain new character might be coming in. Maybe.
I think it's this episode.
Maybe you think Rosetta's going to die. Maybe you agree with him.
Who do you think's going to die? I mean, there's a lot of people to choose from.
There are.
They're not going to go through this episode with no one dying. So.
Glenn's back. Rejoice.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it. So until next time, we'll see you later.